Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Damn Canada by me, Dee Dee. If you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. Here on Damn Canada, I like to cover the lesser known murder, mystery, and mayhem cases that go on here in Canada and Canada only. Today, we're going to be traveling to Thompson, Manitoba, with a population of less than 15,000 people and rated the most violent city in all of Canada. Thompson is around 760 kilometers north of Winnipeg and was originally founded as a mining town that mainly mined nickel. Now, it is still a mining town, but in today's day and age, it now primarily serves as a goods and services hub for the surrounding communities. With it being up in the beautiful north and heart of Canada's boreal forest, it's a popular place to go for outdoor enthusiasts. In winter, you can go on one of the many snowmobile trails. You can go ice fishing, go ice skating right out on the lakes. In the warmer months, you can go for a beautiful hike, go swimming, go boating on one of the many beautiful lakes, or enjoy an amazing camping trip. And if you live in the surrounding area, or you're just lucky enough, you might even have a cottage in the area, just like Melissa Ivy Chaboyer. Melissa loved spending time at the cottage, and she loved it even more being able to spend that time with her family. Melissa's family was everything to her, and her whole life revolved about them, and she wouldn't have had it any other way. Melissa, who went by Lissa to her friends and family, was a Métis woman from Thompson, Manitoba, and she was around 35 years old back in 2005, where this story is taking place. She was a single mother to a son named Anthony, and he was around 17 at the time. And it was said they had a bond like no other. Not only was Melissa an amazing mom to Anthony, but she was also a great friend. And her motherly instincts didn't stop just with her own flesh and blood. Over the past 10 years, Melissa had fostered between 20 to 30 kids and often kept in touch with them long after they were out of her care. She was always there for them, no matter what the case. She was just that type of person. She worked full-time with developmentally challenged adults and often had 2 to 3 other jobs on top of her full-time job just to make sure her family's needs were completely met. One of the side jobs she would pick up was being a part-time cab driver for North Star Cab in Thompson. She only worked this job during the holiday season, so like between October and December, to make sure she gave her family the best Christmas she possibly could every single year. And she did this job for about 10 years as well. On the evening of November 25th, 2005, Melissa was visiting her mother at home just before her graveyard shift was supposed to start. Even though Melissa had between 3 to 4 jobs at any given time, plus a son and foster children, she still made the time to visit her parents almost every other day. Her and her mother chatted for a little bit and had a nice little visit, and then it was time for Melissa to head out to start her shift. She walked out of the door of her mother's house and got into her white cab number 302. She started her shift as if it were any other Friday night. And as she went about picking up fares, it was a typical busy Friday night for Melissa. As the clock ticked past midnight and the night fell into Saturday, Melissa was dispatched to a call at the Thompson Arena, which was located inside the University College of the North. The caller and the number of passengers that she would be picking up was unknown. Now, several minutes after she had been dispatched to the Thompson Arena, she had called into her dispatch and told them that she was going to be going to the Ramada Hotel, which is now the Burntwood Hotel. And this hotel also actually had a tavern attached to it called the Regal Beagle Tavern. I can't say that without a smile on my face. I'm so sorry. At around 2:30 a.m., she drove past the rear of the City Center Mall and the Vantis Credit Union vestibule and drove into the parking lot beside the south doors of the mall. Now, just before 1 a.m., another longtime cab driver named Ken Rhodes was in the north parking lot of the City Center Mall, and he noticed the glow on top of Melissa's cab from her light and decided to head on over. But when he got over to her, that's when he discovered Melissa lying on the pavement next to her cab. She had been stabbed to death. Her 2 passengers turned killers had fled on foot across the field to the East City Center Mall parking lot and then disappeared into the Eastwood area of Thompson, never to be seen or heard from again. An RCMP officer had to deliver the most devastating news anyone could ever hear. Your daughter is dead. But he also had to deliver this news to her son Anthony and the foster children. Your mother is dead. The very same day as Melissa's death, a memorial was held in the city center parking lot, along with a vigil in the evening. Hundreds of Thompson residents came to pay their respects and honor Melissa. The 3 operating taxi companies in Thompson also closed from 3 p.m. till 7 a.m. the next day to also pay their respects to a fellow cab driver. The cabs lined up bumper to bumper, giving all the attendees a little bit of warmth against the harsh northern winter. And local restaurants even donated coffee as well. Melissa was a person who touched everyone's hearts that came in contact with her. And that was solidified by the amount of people absolutely devastated for the senseless and tragic loss of her life. The police asked for the assistance of the public on any information regarding Melissa's death, but that's honestly all I can say I know of what they did publicly for this case. The Thompson RCMP have never released any details on the suspects, no police sketches or anything along those lines, nor any information regarding the incident as far as motive. They have said that there was 2 people in the cab that night, but that is really all we know. Even though Melissa had been dispatched to the arena and then she had called in afterwards letting them know that she was going to the hotel, it has never been confirmed if she actually went to either of those places. Now, we can only assume the motive for this senseless killing was to rob Melissa for her fare money. Her father, Melissa Chaboyer, has speculated that since it was early on a Saturday morning, Melissa probably had several $100s in her fare. However, the RCMP has never confirmed those suspicions. They have never confirmed if Melissa did have any fare money or if she was even robbed at all. Her manager at the time stated that she was one of the gentlest drivers in the whole world. If someone didn't have the money, she'd smile and pay later. She never would have gotten into a dispute with someone. Her death directly resulted in Thompson amending their taxi cab bylaw the next year in 2006. So that all taxi cabs in Thompson are required by law to be equipped with cameras. Now, I was reading some statistics on just a bunch of different things, and the taxi cab driver is actually a more dangerous job than being even a police officer. And there was a couple years where it was rated the most dangerous jobs with the most homicide rates or something like that. I might be slightly wrong on that because I don't have it in my notes. I'm going off my memory. Now, of course, many people were speculating what exactly the authorities were doing to help bring some sort of justice to Melissa. In 2013, an RCMP spokeswoman, Sergeant Line Karpish, said the investigation of the homicide remains active and is being conducted by the RCMP Division Historical Case Unit. And I do, of course, have to just point out that she was listed as a historical case, with her case not even being 10 years old yet. Now, I'm not sure if there is a specific time frame on when a case has to be listed as historical, but if you are aware of any of that, please let us know down in the comments below, because I am quite interested in how fast a case could become historical. Melissa's case was last reported to be on its 4th investigator, which they have said is mostly handled by the Winnipeg RCMP detachment, which is around 700 kilometers south of Thompson. Now, throughout this whole terrible tragedy, Melissa's family has been pretty much left in the dark about everything. Melissa's father, Milton, has taken it up upon himself to collect tips and submit them to the police himself. And this is basically the only time that the authorities have ever communicated with him. He said in an interview that he has a large case file with all the tips he has gotten over the years. And even though this case is considered historic to the RCMP, to the family, it doesn't feel historic at all. They feel the pain and loss every single day. Melissa's friends and family have put forward $10,000 of their own money as a reward for any information to Melissa's death. And on top of that, the Manitoba Crime Stoppers put forward $4,000 to the reward money, bringing up to $14,000, which is actually $2,000 above their $2,000 max for reward money. Now, even though Melissa's case is considered historic, along with it being a cold case, I found it particularly interesting that Melissa Ivy Chaboyer's cold case is not listed with the RCMP anywhere on the internet from what I could find. It's not listed under historical cases. It's not listed under cold cases. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I have searched her name. I have looked through just pages and pages to see, and I have not found her name anywhere. Now, I did find a page that was dedicated to cold cases in Manitoba, but she wasn't even listed on there. Unsurprisingly, the people that were listed on there were 99% white, but I won't even go down that path right now. We do know that Melissa was a Métis woman. This case reminded me of my first missing person case, Brandon Sakebow. Due to the lack of RCMP empathy, involvement with the family or anything like that. Like I mentioned, Melissa is a Métis woman. I can't stress that enough because I do feel it is very important. And everybody knows that the RCMP has an extremely bad reputation when it comes to working with Indigenous peoples on either side of the justice system. This case also reminded me of the case we just covered last week of the Wentworth Park stabbings. The reason this case really reminded me of that one so much, and I'm going to put a little timestamp in case you guys haven't watched that video. I'll put a timestamp here for no spoilers. But if you don't care, then whatever. Timestamp. The reason this case reminded me so much of the case last week is because, once again, the lack of police work and the lack of empathy. It's insane. And that the killer just got to go free. But we can at least hope that Melissa's case has somewhat of the same results of the Wentworth Park stabbings. Hopefully, someone does slip up and confesses, and her family can have the answers that they really do deserve. Milton has said, despite having to deal with the loss of his mother and the brutal way in which she died, Anthony has actually become a stronger, more mature person in the years since her death. It has strengthened him. He wants to do the type of things his mother would have wanted him to do. So his grades have improved. He graduated and he's been working the same full-time job for 4 years. I think it's safe to say that Melissa would have been so extremely proud of Anthony. Anyone with information can call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-222-8477 or Thompson RCMP at 204-677-6909. I know this wasn't a long video today, but this was truly all the information that I could gather about Melissa and her case. Like I said, there's not really that much information out about her. The RCMP hasn't released much about anything pertaining to her case, so this is really all that I was able to give you guys. Like I say, even cases with next to no information still deserve some kind of recognition. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Regal Beagle Regal Beagle Tavern.